What's up, kings and queens? Welcome back to my channel. I am the Eva Monroe. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel today. So I hope you all are doing well as we all possibly can be doing right now. Stay strong, because one thing I do know is this too shall pass. So I have some fragrances today. I was digging through stuff and playing in fragrances, and I realized I have quite a few fragrances that I have not shared with you guys. So I chose four that I haven't shared, and I have one newest acquisition that I'm really kind of excited to tell you guys about. So let's jump right in. Now, the first fragrance that I realized that I had not shared with you guys yet is Serge Kobe. Why? There's a reason why I haven't shared Kobe with you guys. This is the bottle, again, from the house of Serge, and it is Kobe. The notes of Kobe are orange, bergamot, labdanum, neroli, orange blossom, tonka, woody notes, and ambergris. I got this about probably 4, maybe 5 months ago, and I sprayed it when I got it, and I shelved it. I shelved it because when I sprayed it, it really reminded me of Tom Ford Neroli Portofino Forte and Clean Reserve Aqua Neroli. It really did. So when I went back and revisited the fragrance, finally I realized that it's so much better than both of those. In the top, you really do get that blast of citrus and neroli that you get in Neroli Portofino Forte and Aqua Neroli. However, the dry down of this is just so much deeper, and it's slightly woody, but the neroli is still very present throughout, for the duration of the fragrance. So if you like a neroli bomb, I would definitely recommend this. If you like citrus and neroli, but if you're into that whole neroli thing, this is really an amazing neroli dominant fragrance. So Serge Kobe. Now, the next one on my list that I have not shared with you guys is from the house of Maison Lancome, and it is Parfait des Roses. So I wanted to choose another one from this house because Oud Bouquet just blew me away so much. I was like, I have to have something else from this house. So when I was trying to decide, the notes of this got my attention, so this is the one that I chose. Now, the notes of this are aldehydes, pink pepper, rose, there's a liqueur note in here, benzoin, tonka, and vanilla. So the top of the fragrance starts out really like that whole Montal Intense Cafe vibe thing. That, what I like to call chocolatey rose vibe, is what this really is in the top of the fragrance. But the dry down is very gourmand. Like, it really thickens up and sweetens up nicely. So I was telling a friend of mine about this, and they're not really partial to rose. And so she asked me, she said, well, even though I don't care for rose, would I like that? And I said, no. Because if you don't like rose, this is definitely not going to be the fragrance for you. Even though it sweetens up a lot in the base of the fragrance, the rose note is still there. And I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of this. I've actually worn this probably about 3 or 4 times. And every time I have got so many compliments on this. People were like, wow, you smell really good. What are you wearing? So Maison Lancome Parfait des Roses. Now, the next one is the one that I shared with you guys that I was actually wearing on my live video. It was my scent of the night, and it is Rosas of Reckless. Gotta love a name like that, right? Reckless. Oh, so, okay, when I got this fragrance on a really, really good deal. And Alan actually was selling the Parfum fragrances from the previous Parfum line, because they're actually going to be discontinued. So I chose one, which was really kind of crazy because I should have got 2 or 3, but I got one, and I chose Reckless. In reading about Reckless, a lot of people said that the fragrance really reminded them of Love Don't Be Shy from the house of By Killian. And when I smelled it, I hated that I read that because when I smelled it, I couldn't unsmell Love Don't Be Shy. Um, it really does start out very much like that whole vibe, but I feel like it's a much more refined version of Love Don't Be Shy. It's a much more feminine version of it because Love is a very unisex fragrance. Men pull that off and they pull that off very well. I don't really see men pulling this one off because it's very feminine, very feminine. But I really enjoy it. I really enjoy this. The notes in this are bergamot. There's fruity notes. There's aldehydes here, tarragon, jasmine, rose, tonka vanilla, sandalwood. It's got a clove note, and there's a peach note in here. An amazing fragrance, really is. I would wear this like when I want to just smell really pretty. Like if I was going out on a date and we were going to be like real nice and cozy. The sillage on this is not huge. It doesn't have large projection. It's one of those fragrances that just lay close to your body, but when people come close to your personal space, they can smell you. So Rosas of Reckless. And right now, being that we all have to be 6 feet away from each other, you probably don't want to waste this. So the next fragrance, I'm going to share my newest acquisition with you guys before I go to the last one. So a lot of people have been recommending the Armani Privé fragrances. They're like, oh, you got to try this one. Oh, you have to try that one. So I said, you know what? I'm going to purchase a Privé fragrance. And I chose Blue Lazuli. Now, if you know any two things about me, and if you go right over to Fragrantica right now and look up Blue Lazuli, you will have a clear understanding of why I chose Blue Lazuli. It has three of my favorite notes in it: plum, tobacco, and honey. Three notes that I absolutely love. And whenever I see honey and tobacco together, it's hard for me to say no. And then throw in some plum on me, I'm sold. So I purchased this. Now, this sells for over $300. So I actually had Bloomingberg loyalist point. Bloomingberg. Where is Bloomingberg's? You know what? The funny thing about it is that's what my husband calls it. Bloomingdale's. So I had Bloomingdale's loyalist points. And so I was like, well, let me spend them on something. So I put them towards the purchase of this. Now, when I got this fragrance, I was prepared to be absolutely blown away. But you guys have to remember, I am a honey tobacco girl. I own many honey tobacco fragrances. And in my opinion, this is not one of the best ones. It just doesn't blow me away. It doesn't send me into that place that I really need to be sent into. So I'm starting to feel like I should have chose the red one or the green one because honestly, now let me tell you what I get the most from this fragrance. What is a very prominent note in this fragrance that I absolutely am amazed by is the honey note. Like the honey is just in there the whole time doing its thing. The tobacco is not a smoky tobacco, but it's a sweet tobacco. And then the plum is there. It's not plum Japanese plum, and it's not like Andy Warhol juicy plum, but it's right in the middle plum, if you have smelled any of those. I'm not trying to take anything away from this fragrance. I think that it is a very nice fragrance, but I was expecting so much more. The projection on this one is probably like maybe a foot, off the skin. Like this is one of those ones that went in the ultimate dry down. It didn't like bounce off of me very well. So I thought it was going to be really heavy and very just, I thought it was going to blow me away, but it did not. But I'm going to stay here for a while. I'm going to spend some time here and I'm going to come back and let you guys know, what I really think about this in the end. We'll let you know if she's a keeper. Now, the last one is I got another egg, and I said I wasn't getting another egg because I have 4. I said 5 would throw it off balance and 6 would crowd my case out. But when I saw House of Oud Crop 2016 pop up for a very nice price, I had to. I just had to. Now, what I love about this egg so much is that it's actually matte and all of my other eggs are glossy. So I really love the look of these. And you guys know all of these are actually hand painted. So what does this smell like? Now this, ladies and gentlemen, really blew me away. It really did, just to be perfectly honest with you. The notes in here are agarwood, oud, mint, tea, and sandalwood. So it is said that they have used pure Indonesian oud oil in this fragrance. And as far as I know, thus far, I have not come into contact with pure Indonesian oud oil in a fragrance because you know most of the time oud is synthetic. It's a synthetic note in many fragrances unless you're like up in the top dollar range. However, I feel like if I could say so, this is a very authentic oud. Now, this is not one that I would run out and blind buy. It's actually a limited edition. So I don't think they actually sell this anymore, but you may look up on a bottle like I did in a fragrance group. However, even though I'm just about 2.5 years maybe into my oud journey, I appreciate this fragrance and I love this fragrance. It's very, it starts out almost, the oud almost has like a slight chocolatey, earthy vibe, but there's a sweetness in there, which I'm assuming is from the tea note, and a creaminess in the dry down, which is definitely coming from the sandalwood. I love everything about this fragrance. I really do. It's not feminine at all. I feel like it definitely falls along the unisex lines. It could possibly lean a little more masculine than it does feminine, but it is a very nice fragrance. It is not for the meek at heart when it comes to oud though, because I'm telling you, oud is here from the top to the bottom. But this is so unique and so special. I just feel like it's a special fragrance. I love this. I would not cover myself in this and go on a date. I would not cover myself in this and go to the office because I can see this easily being one of those offensive type fragrances. It's a lot. I mean, the dry down is really creamy and smooth and just kind of close to the skin, but there's a lot going on here with that pure Indonesian oud oil. So sample this. You know, this is what you wear when you just want to enjoy the way you smell. And so, which is my goal every day. I don't think a lot about what others want to smell on me, but in my opinion, this is amazing. So, the House of Oud Crop 2016. So those are 5 fragrances that I felt like you guys really needed to know about today. Thank you so much for listening to me. Everyone stay safe. Wash them hands. If you just started doing that, wash your hands and be blessed. And until I see you guys again, bye for now.